imagine like Johnny Depp coming out like a hip hop artist, like
it would be boring.
Ich bin pirate.
Why was that German?
Apparently a German pirate. I don't know.
Ich bin pirate.
Welcome back to the Juice Podcast, where we talk all about things of music, nerdy music, and if you're a music geek like us, you're gonna have a very good time with us today. My name is Kenio, and with me,
Andy.
Yes, my co-host Andy.
Yeah,
you're named Andy the guitarist on Instagram now.
Yeah,
yes, you changed the name.
That's literally 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I don't know, man.
That's a long time ago.
Actually, it when I actually looked it up, I was sitting here with the thought of changing your branding in the music business midway through a project. Have you ever had any thoughts on that particular matter? Like changing all your visuals and your logos and your name. Like do a complete redo of your whole identity midway through a project.
I haven't had it like midway through. That makes it seem like I had a plan to begin with, and I really didn't.
No, I don't think anyone does.
For a long time, like my way of like Instagram and music and social media and all that kind of stuff was just I was just having a regular profile, having an Instagram, posting some stuff, the same old cringy look what I had for breakfast kind of BS.
Like that happens way too often in my book. Especially also for musicians. What are you doing? Like,
and
we want to see your day. We want to see your lifestyle. We want to see your music. That's why we follow you, because you're a musician, and we want to see your adventures, your stories, and
I wasn't
not
really,
your food.
I wasn't really using this for any like as a professional means of being a content creator or musician. Anyway, I was just having a little bit of fun with it.
You renamed Andy the Food Guy.
Yeah, I did rename
it,
and it's not really 2 years ago. It's actually like a year ago, I think.
Wow, so I was actually more in the dot.
You're more in the dot. Actually, it's not that long time ago.
Okay.
I did rebrand. I did rename it because like I'm getting more into music in general, making a lot more content, writing songs and stuff. It's a bit weird because like for a lot of artists, including musicians, you can't just be a guy who plays some music, pitch it to some professionals, and see if you can make it in the music business industry. And you kind of have to be an influencer. Ask anyone who have a small business.
Yeah, you have to be interesting. That's you don't have to be inspiring. You don't have to be cool looking. You don't have to sound very well. You don't even have to have quality productions going on for yourself on the social media. You have to, though, when you're doing music and you're releasing music on Spotify, because else people will just swipe. But on social media, the key element is being interesting.
Yeah, you just have to feed the algorithm again and again and hope it starts like throwing you out there.
The other day I was like scrolling through the internet, especially on TikTok, and you know how time just passes by on TikTok. But that platform really knows how to catch my attention these days, and I was going through a lot of musicians. There were people doing original things, people doing covers, and eventually I stumbled upon this old guy, like an old man. Just sitting in his room with a guitar, playing a cover of Slipknot's Snuff.
Oh, cool!
And I was like, "That's interesting." That video made me linger. It actually caught my attention way more than
I get that.
All the other stuff. Like people had well-produced music videos, maybe DIY videos and everything, and all that stuff with their original stuff and content, and even people sitting there at their home studio playing a cover song on piano and whatnot. We've seen that. We tried that. It's not very original anymore.
No, it's not. And you can't really.
But this guy, just an old man, with his acoustic guitar in his room, playing. Like he had made all kinds of different covers, like Bob Dylan covers and like Bon Jovi and things you would expect. But this one, and it had over, I think it was like 1.2 million views.
That's a lot.
On TikTok.
That's cool.
Like, what?
I do believe that there's a lot of good things to be said about the more digital era we live in, also for musicians. But as it is with anything else, there is often a very positive side effect. We've talked about it a lot before. Being a musician has become and way more accessible to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Instruments are generally cheaper, even though they are, of course, going a bit up in price these days. More people have access to DAWs and computers and phones and stuff where you can make music, and you have people online on YouTube, a free platform where you can learn a lot of stuff you'd normally have to just, pay for or go to school for.
Things are becoming way more accessible.
People are becoming so talented, and that's amazing. That means more art. It means more music. It means more people get to experience and live as a, hopefully be happy with their instrument.
Yeah.
But there's also that other side of it, where the industry is generally also just changing a lot, and it can be difficult to, be a musician, because that's really not what you are. That's what you are for like 1% of the time, where you're writing songs and going into the studio and maybe touring, but you're also now an influencer. You're now an Instagrammer. You're a TikToker, and you have to make viral. Some dude is dancing. Okay, I have to do something with that now. And because and you of course
now I have to stand there dancing.
And as I said before, ask any who's a small business owner. A lot of them, I think that's actually a viral sound going around now on Instagram, where a small business owner said, well, apparently you have to be an influencer now when you're a small business owner, so here's what I do, and then they show what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's true, and it's a very different time, because remember, this is a change that happened in like 20 years? That's not a long time. Like we're in our 30s.
I don't even think it's 20 years. I think it's way less than that.
It's really switched.
Like in the past 5 years has been... It's like a monumental switch in the industry. Like how would you, like, if you're working as a key how should we call it, like an A&R especially, and a manager like I am starting out to be, it's kind of hard to follow that development. Because you always have to be on your toes on what's the next thing that people are starting to react to, and you kind of have to press that on to your artists, which in my opinion is starting to become a pain in some ways, especially because I'm an artist myself. I'd rather spend my time actually sitting writing music than I have to also be creative about how should I make a dance video, how should I make some kind of social media post. Like there's so much time being spent on like preparing social media content, and you get that social media burnout very, very fast.
Absolutely.
I actually created a planner, a 20 weeks of content planner, for this particular reason, and I'm actually giving it out for free, by the way. The link is down in the description.
For a lot of musicians who like need some help trying to see what can I do.
Who's like, I'd rather spend my energy and my time being creative in my music instead of, having to also come up with ideas for social media. This planner is actually just 20 weeks of ideas that you can just look up the planner, cross off the idea, go out and do it, and then go back to
insert
music.
Your own. You can insert your own creative outlet into it, but use that form. And I think there is like, I think there's something to be said that though I think a lot of these things, again, we're not really complaining about it. There's a lot of positive outcome of this, but there's also a lot of negative. There's a certain balance there. We can't just close our eyes for that. This is also problematic. But also we can't deny that there are also some amazing possibilities with the new, more digital era.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But I think one of the things that I find very negative about this is that I think a lot of social media in general and the way viral things work is it really, really based on some instinctive reaction on humans as a group. So it's not really about being creative or smart or anything. It's just on these instinct reactions. Oh, that's funny, or that's this, or that's that, and that's why things become viral, and they get so capitalized that at some point, like when I'm looking at my phone, I can like 2 hours just going away, and
just funny. Sitting there swiping and sliding and whatnot.
I don't even remember that the time, and why am I doing this? And I think it's becoming such an instinctive reaction. And virality, or what we should call it, are so focused on catching us off guard on our, instincts, that we kind of forget what it is we're actually doing, and that's why it works.
What are we trying to accomplish with this
stuff?
And
then we do become a little bit of mindless puppets who's just like boringly is scrolling through, and that's perhaps not such a good idea, because we are gonna have to acknowledge that commercials and generally humans are somewhat easy to be controlled in some way. We are too. You can't really deny that it's happening because you wouldn't even know.
Way so easy to manipulate in many ways. Like I actually love how you're saying like the scrolling part, because usually back in the day, the biggest enemy of your entire career would usually be the gatekeepers. That's what the word I was looking for earlier. The gatekeepers of the music industry, like the A&Rs and managers and sponsorships, dealers and whatnot, because they were like judging your content very easily. But today, it's become way worse than that. Your biggest enemy today is people's finger. It's that little finger. It's like, what? How did that become my biggest enemy? Because it's a swipe away from like ruining your entire release. Yeah. Because if enough people just swipe past your newest release, either it's a video, it's a new track on Spotify or whatever, the algorithm is just like, oh, people don't want to watch this, so we're not going to push it anymore. That usually wasn't really the thing. Usually a new track just came into the radio. I remember when YouTube came along and we could put up a music video on YouTube and people would like replay that video over and over and over again. But that's not the case anymore.
And I think that also goes to show what I generally think is the worst thing about social media. When you are a musician, you're not even that anymore. You have to be so much more. Yeah. And that's also, it's funny to see a lot of these people who actually do go viral with some of their TikTok videos, and when they say, but I don't know why. I don't know why. People ask, but what is your advice? How do I go viral? Most of them actually say, I don't even know, because I tried this. I don't know. It's and that's so annoying, because like you can have some of the most amazing content, but nobody's gonna see it. Yes. And that's because it kind of requires of you to be so much else than a musician. Yeah. And that's going to take away time for practicing. It's going to take away time for being better. It's going to take away time for writing music and being an artist. And it's going to kill you at some point. And that's a little bit, it's gonna be a little sad.
Way more frustrating. Yeah. Like that's why I also turned into the subject. Like I started out like saying, if you ever had thoughts about the process of changing your entire identity, like your entire visual identity, midway through a somewhat releasing of a project, because I've been dealing with those thoughts. Actually, it's inspired because I was visiting my dad the other day, and you know how our parents, they get older, but usually sometimes they have their bright moments, of course, like moments of wisdom in some way, and you just suck that in. He was like very interested in my new line of work, like with the managing stuff and what I actually tried to teach people and what I'm doing on YouTube, and like teaching, especially my artists, how secondary value is the whole build block of your entire career, because you have to take your secondary value and time it with 10 and make it so visually clear that your communication it can't be flawed in any way.
You make yourself a character.
In many ways. And he was like sitting in my car after we had dinner out in town. He was like just looking at me like, so why aren't you doing it? And I was like, wait, how do you mean? I was kind of shocked, like that was the biggest diss I ever had from my parents in many years. Like, but he had videos prepared and he had listened to my songs, and he was like, it doesn't fit together. He didn't feel that it fit together, and the more then I drove home and I looked at it like from out of body experience. I keep bumping into this microphone. Out of body experience and looking at my live performance videos and my music videos and listening to the tracks that I'm making. And I couldn't agree more. Everything is a mess. And I'm like, well, maybe I should practice what I preach here. And I made a mood board. Do you know what a mood board is?
Nope.
A mood board is usually a visual representation of things that inspire you to reach a certain goal. It can be colors. It can be special, like in my mood board, I have several types of people with styles that I like. Like the dress codes, the colors is lined up in the bottom.
Yeah.
And I know I have rain on there, like because I really love that picture, and it fits in with that color scheme that I was trying to like put together. That's what a mood board is actually. Like you put yourself out of the box, and you look in and like say that's the thing that I'm trying to hit.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I was like, well, I'm not doing any of this stuff. So that's why I kind of looked through my Instagram and I was like, what would happen if I changed my entire persona, image, visuals, everything midway through? I don't think it would do any harm in my stage, but I was just thinking in general, what would actually happen if that ever happened to an artist out there? Because then I remember like Linkin Park especially, they changed their logo for every album, pretty much. And they changed their style of music per album in many ways.
Yeah.
I think the Hybrid Fury and Meteora was kind of like, yeah, that's intertwined with one another. And then they kind of felt like kind of bored out of their own style and created a new style for every album. And I was like, that if they can do it, why not us?
Yeah, of course. And there are, I think there's a lot of like, I don't know, pleasure and a lot of good things to gain for sometimes like just changing things up in general.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know what, this is boring, and I think people are being bored about it.
It's just boring.
You know what? Let's try and make it with salmon instead. Maybe I should make everything salmon colored and see what happens. You know, just change some things up. I don't know. Put some mustard on the guitar and see how it sounds. Like sometimes you just need, new vibes.
Put some mustard on the guitar and see how it
don't
sounds,
put
man.
mustard on your guitar. Don't do it, dude.
It's gonna sound a little creamy. A little shrimp and eggs on there.
Ooh.
I think Americans will be like,
That's
what did you say? I'm like, try it. It's a Danish delicacy. It's very good.
Wait, what?
You know, a bread with hard-boiled eggs, shrimps, and either mayonnaise or mustard. Yep.
We do eat that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you not think they do that in other countries? I don't know.
I haven't seen it
We do a
anywhere
lot
else,
of that open face sandwich kind of thing. They go crazy just both in England and just in general that we eat rye bread and then not a lid on. Like we just have the bread and then stuff on it and they eat it and we call it pålæg.
Yeah,
that's a pålæg smell. That's a pålæg smell. And so the rye bread and nobody liked it. Like no kid ever liked rye bread. It's that bad.
Yeah.
But we was forced to eat it because it was good for you.
Yes.
And white bread.
My mom packed it for my lunchbox every morning.
And then butter on because that makes it even more healthy. And then mackerel salad.
Mackerel salad. Yeah, mackerel salad.
salad.
Mackerel salad. It's literally just mackerel in tomato sauce.
I think it's smoked mackerel and then in a tomato sauce with some mayo on. And the kid who had that in school on his rye bread mad was mad. That was hard feeling after. That was the worst thing. It smelled up the whole. But yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
I still eat it. I love mackerel, like mackerel mad.
Oh dear God, heaven! Like, actually, when we were talking about like changing our entire visual identity and the persona and everything in the music industry going on, we sat down the other day and talked about musicians who became actors. But you actually spun it around. Like, did you know how many actors turned into musicians?
Yeah.
And I was like, I had actually no clue. And I actually looked up some of these people. So I have made my list.
Oh.
But I think you have your own list.
I don't have a list necessarily, but I know there are a few.
There are a few.
Yeah. I know that, well, this wasn't an actor, but the Dead Daisies was formed by basically what was a very wealthy Australian. He was a wealthy businessman. He owned his dad's company, and at one point he said, well, I got a couple of billions, and I like those kind of guys over there playing some music. You want to make a band? And then they formed the Dead Daisies. So he was not a famous musician who just, started being a famous musician because, fuck it. I got the money for it.
Like, I have the money.
Yeah.
We can do marketing.
True. So it's just like
that's cheating.
They are so cool. I love
that's
the
cheating,
Daisies.
man.
Oh, I love the Dead Daisies though. I loved when they also have Karabi when he was singing. Oh, that's so nice. Oh.
There's actually several of artists out there who actually was like actors who created several albums that I've never heard of. Did you know Jeff Goldblum? He's a jazz musician.
Yes, I did know that.
And he's playing in the jazz orchestra and releasing LPs. And
I don't know why I knew that, but I did know that.
And I was like, I want to go listen to this dude.
He's pretty good.
He's an amazing actor. He's an amazing personality. From what I've known, like seen, and the interviews I've seen, like he's like that fun uncle that I wish I had.
Who fights dinosaurs.
Yes. Then we have Scarlett Johansson. Yes,
she has made music.
She has made an album with the artist Tom Waits, where she made a whole album of covers, and
with who? Tom Waits?
Yes,
for real.
Yes, and the album is called "Anywhere I Lay My Head."
I'm gonna go listen. I love Tom Waits. I loved what he did with that whole Waltzing Matilda song.
I actually listened to some of the tracks and I was like, she's actually a pretty talented singer.
All right.
She's pretty awesome at this.
Yes,
but that's just one album.
Black Widow.
Yeah,
singing
Scarlett Johansson.
With Tom Waits.
Wait, with Tom Waits.
What the hell? What the fuck? I love the world. I'm so happy now.
Yes, and that's just one of the amazing people that I found here.
I know that the girl who played, what's her name? Oh my god, oh no, my wife's gonna kill me. That whole game where they get dropped in a rainforest and have to kill Hunger Games. Yeah, exactly.
Games, yeah.
The girl from Hunger Games who plays with the pew.
With the bow and arrow.
Yeah, with the pew that goes like where you pew.
Yes.
And that's called a bow, exactly. She actually sung this song. Is it called Mockingbird? The song, I think it's called.
No, yeah, it's that. There's actually
Hanging Tree, yeah, or something like that. It's a Hanging Tree, yeah. And she's actually the one singing it.
Yes,
they actually made that actor sing it. So I guess she's not a musician, but they did. I actually think they said that they forced her to because they thought it was good. She didn't want to.
For PR.
You are gonna do it. I don't know, but it did sound as she wasn't really keen on doing it, but she did end up doing it.
But it actually sounds very, very beautiful. And
I had no idea she was so good at
voice.
singing. She's very talented at singing. So yeah.
And everyone in the comments be like, "You don't know her name? We don't know her name.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, man.
Oh, what's it? What is it?
Actually, one of the other actors out there who I'm a big fan of, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yes.
You play.
He's a bass player a band called Dogstar. And they released 4 albums. And they've been on an opening tour for Bon Jovi.
For real?
Yes.
I didn't know it was going that well for them. That's cool.
That's serious. Like they made 4 albums until they called it quits.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So they don't play anymore.
I mean,
sadly,
Keanu Reeves.
He's a phenomenal person.
Really, the only more powerful bassist I can ever think of that has to be Davey 504.
Yeah.
with his holy slap of destiny. Oh, that's so funny.
And they're like, there are several other good bassists out there. Yeah, but they're not Keanu Reeves. And of course we have Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Leto.
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 I don't even know who any of those are.
Jared Leto. He is the singer in 30 Seconds to Mars, and he plays Joker. He plays Morbius. He plays.
Is that the new?
Yeah.
That Morbius? Oh,
yes, that's Jared Leto. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that movie didn't do well.
That movie didn't do well.
don't know. I think there was some troubles with that, wasn't there?
He's been. I actually thought he was a musician before he was an actor, but apparently it's the other way around. He started 30 Seconds to Mars with his brother, back in the day. And he's been instructing all their music videos. When I'm looking back at their music videos, I can kind of see what's going on. They're filmed and instructed like it was some sort of movie. I think the song called "Kill" kind of took inspiration from The Shining in many ways. Like they're in a hotel and they're meant to be in solitude, and weird things happen.
Seen it, so I wouldn't know.
And they have a song, I think it's called "Hurricane," that is very graphic in many ways. And I remember back in the day it was banned from YouTube because it was too graphical. But they kind of won the case because YouTube still had a very load database of videos with gun, sex, and violence, and
sometimes the algorithm just
and they're
like doesn't really know what it's doing. So
and they're like, okay, so we can't show this, but you can show that. How's that fair?
Yeah, I always like, to be fair, with the whole explicit content and maybe a little bit of nudity on the screen, so people go like all kinds of crazy because like, oh, it's so horrible. And okay, that's fine, that's an opinion. But like when people are just learning, showing a movie where people are just getting butchered and gunned down, or people showing you how to reload or load a gun, or etc. I don't really see that as better. I don't see how naked people can be more damaging to you than people showing you how to, I don't know, load an AK-44, 47 and just whole kindergarten. I fail to see how one thing is better than the other.
It's some awful stuff, man. Yeah. And of course there is the biggest coin of them all, who's been a huge part of the social media this year, Johnny Depp.
Yes, he plays in Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah, and they're coming to Denmark soon.
They are
coming to Denmark.
You are gonna give me some tickets.
I don't know if I can afford that, but okay.
Tickets or your life.
Yes. He really won the entire internet this past year with that trial going on with Amber Heard and all that stuff.
Yeah, I actually knew about Hollywood Vampires way before that. He's been playing with them for a long time now. I think it's a couple of years at least.
Yeah, he's been playing with a lot of...
He's been in Denmark before with Hollywood Vampire and in Copenhagen.
They've been playing with a lot of huge others, like opening acts for Alice Cooper, I think, also.
Alice Cooper is the lead singer of Hollywood Vampires.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that's the thing.
So that's the connection.
That's
okay,
that's
the connection.
Like he's the lead singer in I believe he still
Hollywood
is.
Vampires.
Yeah, he's also just such a character.
Yeah,
I can't Alice Cooper and
of course
Ozzy Osbourne and all. They're just such a bunch of characters. They're so cool and there's so much there. You get that feeling when you're they're not like that in real life. Yeah. These kind of people are you get that feeling they're just as bonkers in real life as they are on stage, and I just love them.
Have you heard the Hollywood Vampires on their music? So I haven't actually heard it.
It's good. It's good.
I should be.
And Mr. Depp he's like a
Mr. Depp.
Yeah. Mr. Depp.
Mr. Depp.
Oh, a little bit of bridges here. That's how it is.
Mr.
Depp. He's a good guitarist. I really, he's tight. He's cool on stage, and he's just because he has that character of cut away from him, please. He just has that character. And I know that his whole Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing, that kind of like also the Jack Sparrow kind of thing, because I don't know, he's just such a character. Yeah. When he comes on stage and maybe a little bit of leather and the hair and the hat and the makeup and stuff, he's such a rock and roll kind of guy. And of course he plays guitar.
Of course he is a rock artist. Like,
of course he is.
Imagine like Johnny Depp coming out like a hip hop artist, like
it would be boring.
Ich bin pirate.
Why was that German?
Apparently a German pirate. I don't know.
Ich bin pirate.
I don't know why he was German all the time.
Ich habe eine kleine Getreide zu buy.
Oh dear God. I'm sorry. Oh, all the Johnny Depp fans is gonna hate me now.
But I get what you mean. Like Jack Sparrow can't be out playing jazz trombone. That's not how shit works. No. He needs to have a guitar, and it needs to sound like shredding piece of metal. That's how it is.
And I generally think that the entire like everyone in Hollywood and everyone in Disney and especially Warner Brothers should just give him one big apology and rehire him for all his stuff. Like I don't even think he would be interested in being Jack Sparrow ever again.
No, I think I don't know. I don't want to talk on his behalf, but you know, I think he's done with that too.
Yeah,
I think that boat is sailed.
That boat is sailed.
That pun wasn't intended,
Yes.
but pun is good. Pun is good.
It's such a beautiful boat. Ship.
Yeah, ship. The first.
This is the day you almost captured John Depp.
John Depp.
John Depp. Oh yeah. So yeah. So what's the latest musical history with you going on?
What I'm doing?
Yeah. What like you're working on some shows. That's what I know.
Yeah. I'm boiling every morning in my freaking studio.
Yeah, it's
like
hot as.
Oh yeah, it's hot.
It's hot as the sun over here. Like we're sitting in lamps in the studio, and it's so warm. But you're actually able to concentrate in this here and actually writing some music anyway.
I rise early in the morning and try and get some things done before it gets too hot. But like right now it's like 20 degrees in the evening, so Celsius. So it's in the night, so it's just warm. And I have a little studio that's just get like 35 degrees. So yeah.
If an American hears 20 Celsius, they're like, okay.
Yeah, it's actually like I mean
it's boiling over here.
Yeah, we're unused for it.
Come to Denmark and try it.
Yeah. It is really boiling. It's an annoying humidity, and when you have no air going through, our house is like in such a weird way where air just always circulates, you know, besides the window, not through the window.
No, not through the window. No, like it's like seeing an open window and it's like dodging it.
It's like a freaking hurricane from the north, and there's just no air going into our building.
And it's
so annoying.
So damn annoying.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a little tough. I'm struggling, you know, to be creative. So I'm primarily focusing on the other jobs that I have. Yeah, I have a couple of concerts.
You have a couple of shows coming up.
Yeah, a couple of shows
with different artists and your own show.
I have. I play with the Danish rap artist Jonas K.
Jonas K.
He's a talented dude. I love him.
He's a Danish hip hopper.
He is a Danish hip hopper. Or hippity hopper.
Hippity hopper.
A Danish hippity hopper.
Yes.
Yes, I always hey. A little Danish hippity hoppity.
A very confused little boy.
Yeah. So I'm playing with him. I'm a stage performer. I guess.
We are.
Right? Yeah, we have a drummer too. He is the lead singer, and he kind of like you know, I'm going on stage, shredding a little solo here and there, pumping a little bit of rock and roll into it. He likes that kind of stuff. He is primarily just that's not what I meant. He's a very talented Danish rap hip hop artist, but he likes to on stage throw a little bit of rock. Yes, rock attitude in it. So that's what I'm there for, putting some rhythm and some solos on the backing track and stuff.
But your own show, what's that about?
I have my own show. That's with another Danish guy. Surprise, surprise. That's Mr. Dan Rose.
Yeah, we did an interview with Dan Rose. A couple of weeks back. You should check it out. Actually,
he asked me if I wanted to join him on stage, a little private gig for a couple of a dozen people.
Yeah.
And if I wanted, just to make a little cameo, play 10, 20 minutes, half an hour perhaps.
So when is this show going on? Do you remember the date?
Yeah, the 23rd of July, I believe.
Is it on Cirque Club?
Yeah, it is in Cirque Club. It's in Cirque Club in Odense. And there are tickets available. I think we can leave a Facebook link or something so people can go check that out.
We're gonna leave a link in the description for those tickets for sure.
So yeah, I'm working on some stuff there. I have a couple of original songs. Actually, I have a couple of original pop songs in the making.
You're going popish.
Yeah, I'm going pop.
What happened?
I'm going poppy.
He's going.
Yeah, I'm going sassy.
The rock and roll dude is now going pop.
Yeah,
like I want to talk like I'm a metal singer, metal performer. I'm doing hip hop and pop stuff too.
Normally I would identify.
We're getting old.
Normally I would identify as a rock and roll guitarist, but I just had a couple of pop songs in me.
Yeah,
have to write
pop. Writing pop songs are actually very fun.
It's super fun.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new experience.
Copyright strike
that opened up right there.
Yeah, it definitely is. So yeah, I'm working on a little song. I can even share what it's called. It's called Lab Coat.
Lab coat.
Yeah, lab coat.
Like one of those white ones.
Yeah, lab coat.
Lab coat.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else do you know what a lab coat is?
I have no
A
clue.
coat made of a Labrador, you sick fucker. So yeah, it's called Lab Coat.
Yes.
And it is actually a love song, and there's like a little spin to that whole play with the words.
That's very interesting. A love song called Lab Coat. Like
Yeah.
how are you gonna spin that into a love song?
Well, yeah. I mean, you gotta. You gotta hear the lyrics. But basically, I'm playing and toying with the idea of being hopelessly in love, and that can be just as much as a lovely and wonderful feeling it can be to be in love. I will even say that being in love with someone you might not be able to have, it is wonderful to be able to feel those feelings, but it can be very hurtful also. Sometimes you are parted from the ones you love. Maybe even imagine you have a lovely girlfriend. She has to study abroad for maybe half a year, and that feeling of love and missing her is wonderful, but it's also very hurtful. So I believe that love can hurt just as much as it can be pleasurable, as it can be wonderful in many ways. So the song is about me singing about how I am actually hurting from being able to feel all this love, and singing about that there's no real cure for these feelings. I am broken inside. I'm hurting inside. My body is sick because it feels bad. My body is aching. I'm sick in some way, and I want to be cured of this feeling in my body. I want it gone.
Yes.
And since there are no cure to the pain that follows with love, I'm singing about how I want to invent a cure for it, and I'm taking on my lab coat. I'm experimenting with my feelings.
You're kind of like doing mixtures.
Yeah,
and
I'm
all
combining with Steve. What can I do with my feelings? Basically, talking about how this whole journey of trying to figure yourself out, mixing and matching feelings, and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
See if you can get out of this spin of pain that love brings. And there's also some spin about how sometimes it can feel like the only way out of it is not really drinking medicine, but drinking poison to get rid of it. Yeah, so it also kind of have like a little bit of a dark twist. But that's what the song is about.
It's actually a very cute metaphor. So
it is.
I'm excited to hear the final results. And
yeah,
so like, is this a song that's gonna be released, or is it just a live show?
I hope so. I like the song. I like the lyrics I've written. It might not make much sense what I'm seeing right now, but I like it. I like the riff I've been putting together. It's very poppy. It's very nice. It's just right now it's a song. It's a piece of music and some lyrics, but it's not a recorded finished deal yet. And I want it to be that, but I don't quite know what direction I will take it. So I'm gonna take it as an acoustic, down to earth kind of thing, and I'm gonna go play it live. So I'm gonna write a lot of like nice things and sounds on the guitar, make some riffs, and makes it all like maybe a little John Mayer-ish with a little bit of the slap techniques on the guitar, and present the song Lab Coat and see what people feel, how people react to it, and change
testing the waters.
Yeah, and I will change the feeling in it a bit. I'll maybe make it a bit sad, maybe a bit more up tempo, and try some different things. How do the audience react to it?
That's always a roll of the dice, really.
Yeah, what works with this kind of song? Do I need to make it more upbeat and something? So that's basically what I'm doing. I have also another show in July, just a couple of days later, and I know I'm kind of booking myself pretty hard.
You're
here,
almost going on tour in a way. That's fun.
A little
like
tour,
going on tour with your instrument. That's fun. Like to round this off, you're usually saying that you're coming up with a question for the music industry.
I do have one for
you. And I'm supposed to try and make up a solution for it with the best skills that I have in
sorry,
English,
I was
right?
sneezing. Sorry. Yeah. Now I have a very good question.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
You sure you're ready?
No. But let's do it anyways.
All right. Well, you are working with music and musicians and taking a bit of an entrepreneurial way. You're trying to be more creative of how to make music more of a business, looking from a business perspective and making it easier to make either money or trying to work around those kind of things.
Yes.
And social media is a big part of that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of social medias around, and I would think that you have a good idea what's going on social media. So, as a musician, where's the best place to be online right now? Where do you think you should pour your interest in when it comes to social media? Because there's so many, and maybe you want to focus more on one or the other. Where do you think in Denmark you would pour your...
Oh, in Denmark?
Maybe specifically in Denmark.
Specifically, I don't think it comes down to a specific part of the world in any way. It's like, I would always say, focus your energy on 2 platforms that you feel comfortable with. Usually, I know there's a lot of people out there who would say TikTok, and of course TikTok would be my preferred choice anyway, because you can use TikTok and you can use the same video recordings and put it on Instagram Reels. Because right now those 2 are the ones who are getting the most views, because like there's those platforms are pushing those reels right now. But then again, if you're not comfortable making continuously videos and being inspired enough to this, like, then go on Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter is still a very active platform. Actually kind of like, it's kind of like you can use it like a LinkedIn for your business in a way. Because LinkedIn is one of those, as a business owner, you communicate with other people within that field. You can do the same thing on Twitter in many ways. And there's a lot of musicians out there who are still using Twitter to like send their messages in just a few tweets. Like posts are more popular there.
Yeah.
Videos aren't that popular on Twitter anymore.
No.
But then again, choose 2 platforms that you find yourself comfortable with. Because if you find yourself comfortable with a platform, you have a way easier tendency to develop content for that platform.
Yeah. And get some popularity
that way.
So your advice is better. It's not as much focused on what is the better popular platform, but choose a platform where you are more confident in the way you make content.
Yes,
and then the audience will be there.
They will react to it anyways. Yes, because everyone is on some sort of platform, and anyone will stumble across your content in some way. Like you can't underestimate the power of one. Like, if someone told me, like, showed me some sort of content, I remember I stumbled upon a female rapper once called Shushk. And I did a review on her stuff.
She's so cool.
Yeah, like, I stumbled on her content. I was like, I have to show you this. That's the power of one. Like, I found something, and I felt in some way that I had the urge to show it to someone else. Instantly, and that's what can happen if you're just doing the correct type of content for the correct type of platform that you feel comfortable with. So that would be my advice, actually. But then again, if you're striving for views, TikTok and Instagram Reels. If you're striving for likes, that's not a thing anymore.
Not in the same way.
Then go for YouTube, I guess. I don't know. Like likes is not a thing anymore. It doesn't have a function. Most platforms, like even YouTube, has removed the dislike button. So So it's they know that it's a comfortable thing to poke. It's kind of like Facebook's old poke function. Like,
God, I feel old.
But like it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help your content in any way.
You don't think it does something to the algorithm?
No, I don't think it does anything to the algorithm. What I do have a theory does a lot more for the algorithm is how long you can keep people's interest on your videos.
View time.
Yeah, view time. It's because both Instagram Reels and TikTok's metadata, if you press one of those 3 dots and you ask for more data, they have the same visuals like YouTube has, with that curve that goes for how long you kept people's interest and when they're starting to fall off. And I think the longer you can keep them, the more it gets pushed.
And you do also, I know on YouTube and stuff like that, you do get paid more with view time,
which
and
is
stuff
actually makes sense in many ways. If you see, especially on TikTok, which videos are going most viral, 1 minute videos or 5 second videos.
Yeah,
like you have a larger tendency to stick people for 5 seconds than 1 minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
So make short videos, like turn your camera, say hi, bye, and send it off and see what happens.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting at home right now, like, I'm gonna test this, by all means do it. And mention me if you want, and see what happens. Like,
yeah.
At first glance, I actually thought, is it the stickers that's doing something to persons? And I know the stickers doesn't do anything, but one sticker that's kind of like a small hack they can do. People love to interact with stuff, especially on Instagram Reels. You have this function that you can make a quiz on your Instagram Reels. Yeah. You can have text popping up there. They're like saying, "Oh, I have like make them start reading stuff." That will keep their interest lingering because they're focusing on something. They're not focusing on the view time, and then your view time actually
goes up.
Yeah, and then it gets, for some freaking reason, get pushed more.
That makes sense.
So if I should practice what I preach, that's what some of the things that I would do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
thank you so much.
That would be my answer.
For enriching us with your opinion.
Yes, my opinion.
Yeah,
and
I feel very much enriched now.
This is not scientifically proven, but it's something that you can go home and you can play around with for yourself.
And it's probably gonna change again at some point, and then there's something new that's gonna matter. I mean,
in just a few months, it's probably gonna be something else because they're changing it constantly, and then
nobody really knows.
It keeps changing because people are starting to figure things out, and they don't want that majority. To be the things that gets pushed constantly, because it's they're wanting to be a platform for everyone.
Yeah,
not just a platform for those who hacking the algorithm in some sort of way, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's about it for us today. Thank you guys so much for listening into the Juice Podcast. Once again, my name is Kenio, and with me I have my co-host
Andy.
And remember to subscribe. Remember to press that like button. That doesn't do anything, but we really we love it anyway, because it feels good to us. And leave a comment if you have any suggestions of who we're going to interview next, and if you have any inquiries with the things that we've been discussing today. So, guys, we see you next week for another episode.